folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you. We are here. We're going to be doing a show about Brian Barnett, Brian Jason Barnett. We miss him a lot. It is his birthday. I decided kind of last minute to do a birthday show for him because for the past few years, guys, we've been doing a tribute show for him, like during, as he passed away. And I think that's kind of depressing. So we're going with the birthday thing since it's really close by. We're going to celebrate him in life with his birthday, not his death day, which might be a passing over day or something like that. But I want to welcome everybody into the show who's there. And there's Chloe, Deborah L. Smith joining us tonight, Witchy Moon, Lucky Stone. Thank you all very much for showing up. Unacceptable Living in Left Field. Thank you. And Scotty Boy says he misses that guy. Anyway, thank you all for joining me tonight. We're going to get on with this, and hopefully we'll get some guests on. And if you, too, want to speak about Brian, say a few words, maybe you knew him. It's been a while. He's passed away now, going on 5 years. So, well, anyway, I'm wearing the Milky Way Messenger shirt. This was the popular thing. And if you want to come on, I'm posting a link in the chat. And we're going to do that. So thank you all for joining me tonight. And, he was a good guy. We're going to review some of his videos because that's what we got to remember him by. That and your meetings. And there's Brenda. Brenda, there you go. Thank you for putting up this wonderful picture that I have right here today, which reminded me of him. And, he meant a lot to me. Of course, he passed the torch on to me. And here you go. I am here and I will honor him. And as you all know, this channel is dedicated to him. And anyway, so thank you for being here tonight. And Chloe says, I still have his t-shirt too. Yeah. Well, there you go. Brian was a thinker. He lived a rough and tumble life for a long time there. I guess, he really liked his music. He did a little of this and a little of that. In the end, I got to know him more as the calm, quiet guy who grew a wonderful garden. Even though I never got to see it, I heard many stories about it. He was just trying to survive in the end. And he was making his mark on society by letting us in on the secret of life, the secret of living. He included everybody. You were never a stranger on his show. He never got, it seemed like to me, he never got mad. He was always encouraging, and I got the Be the Frequency shirt too. I was between this one and the frequency you want to receive. That was what a good thing. And he practiced that. He made an impact on everyone's life that he touched. And then some. He was friends with David Null, as you know, Hawkeye Two Feathers. He was on Wayne's show quite a bit. He was like an up and coming rock star in the world of spiritual awakening and how you should be. And he wanted to talk about all this stuff. And and I know if he would have been feeling better, he would have probably did a lot more shows. I didn't realize, that he wasn't in the best health ever. he didn't really let on to that. He just, I'm not feeling so good. Okay. Anyway, it's the way it was. I don't know how much more to say about the guy, but he meant a lot. We're gonna review some of his videos here, and we'll go through some of this. He did a simple show. I don't know how he did it. He came up with these great things. Oops, I don't know if I can do that. There we go. I'm gonna have to stop sharing, and I'm gonna have to represent this. Share screen, and then with the sound so we can hear him. But anyway, he came on, no frills, no thrills, just some plain Jane background, and it was good. It was easy, it was nice. He made it simple. So let's just let him tell us how it is.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And today is Friday. Got my brother Ryan with me. Yes, sir.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Much love. Do that.
You notice, welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Today, and then he'd go on with it's Friday, or Monday, Oh, boy, I tell you. He just did it simple. And he just kept doing it, and it was good, Oh, yeah. Chloe's like, he was a sweetheart, trying to figure out all the ins and outputs of spiritual life. I believe he felt each person's story and relieved part of the puzzle. Yeah, and I think he was here. He was bringing us all on, trying to make us not scared to come on the show or call in, and we did. That's how I got introduced. I was terrified to go on. I called in, and then eventually I called in a few more times, and then finally I pushed that button, and there I was. I was on the show. And then he asked me to come on. He says, "Yeah, you're a smart guy. Come on. Yeah, you can come on the show. Let's listen to what he's got to say."
Every time.
Time to check your egos at the door because it's time to explore the depths of the soul and the mind. Ready to roll?
Yeah, you can't tell me what to do. Yes, I'm ready. Ego check.
I apologize, folks, right off the bat that you can't see my brother Ryan. I assume it is my fault. It has to be because on his end it says that I had stopped his video. When I was setting up the Zoom account, usually I'll click the button where it says start video and the participants come in. Well, in case we had any internet.
I was just apologizing. That just makes me laugh. Like, he was just so nice. So nice all the time. Then we did this show. Let's go back in the way. We did this show. He did a lot of shows. See, what do I got here? Here we go. Brian Parker. This is called Authenticity. Are you backing it up with Brian Parker?
Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And today is Sunday, and the return of Mr. Brian Parker. It's been a while. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how you doing? I figured this virus, the only thing I really see spreading this virus is the media. So it's spreading over the airways. So, for tonight's call, I figured I better wear a mask.
Sorry.
What do masks do best? They make you shut up. They keep your voice down.
Yeah, that Brian Parker. I wonder, I haven't heard from him in a while. I'd like to get him on the show. Is he still around? Does anybody know? Anyway. Oh, there's an echo? Yeah, it has a bad echo. Oh, sorry about that. I probably got to turn my volume down. I'll play around with it. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Echo. Is the echo hard to hear with the echo? Oh, okay. Thank you. I got it. I got it. Huh? Echo, echo, echo. I'm not echoing, am I? Anyway. So we're gonna move on. There was lots of shows. Let's get into this here.
I did it a few years ago. At first, when you went into the Department of Motor Vehicles in Florida, it had a sign that said, documents needed for Florida driver's license. And
so I hope you all can hear that, because I muted myself on this side, so it should be fine. But anyway,
ID for identification.
you know, he just let people talk and go on about things. And we got Hawkeye. Hey man, how's it going?
Good evening and blessings to all. And, you know, belated blessings to Brian in the universe. I just know that we had many a good conversation, and he was like the 5th or 6th one to join my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian and I had an interesting relationship. We just clicked mentally up here right away. So he's up there with my brother, my brother from another mother. So
yeah. Anything else you got? I mean, you knew him way before I did. How did you meet him? Let me hear that story.
I was doing my show, and back when, and he started up, and we got a phone call between us, and one thing led to another. But I mean, I had just started, you know, which has been 9 years ago that I started doing YouTube. And so, but whatever it was, Brian saw and me and my goofy self, you know. And so I'm sure that he contacted me first, but then I'm not quite sure how it went from there. I think we did a couple of Zoom chats and stuff like that, and then we decided that we would go ahead and do live streams. So that's where it started.
It did.
I know he had to have a channel in order to you know, to write to me. And so it was, you know, to make comments. And so I was like, well, you know, so we both started out, you know, I had like 7 people as subscriptions, and he had like 2, and one of them was me. You know. Excuse me. But yeah, he was a sport.
Yep. He started out small. I think at the end he had like, you know, 2,000 subscribers or something like that. And then they pulled his channel, and then he started over, and he built it right back up.
Yep.
Didn't he? Yeah, that was awesome. Talk about coming back from, because it was it was Milky Way. You know, the first one was Milky Way Messenger, and then it was Milky Way Weekly or something like that.
Yep.
But there's Mary Wins. Mary Wins has been around a long time. She remembers Brian, I'm sure. Yeah, I hate that we lost the old videos. Yes. If you got anything to say about Brian, you want to come on, just do this. Here's a StreamYard link. I put it in the chat. You don't have to be on video. You can just talk. Don't just X out the camera. It's real easy. Click the link, and it'll take you right here. You don't have to have an app or fill out paperwork or nothing. It's real easy to get on. You want to talk about Brian, say a few words, go right ahead. Anyway, yeah, I wish I would have had the opportunity to, you know him better. That's my biggest regret. You know, it was like right at the tail end, you know, probably the last 3 to 6 months before he passed that I actually got to know him a little. And I thought he was such a cool guy. And man, I was like, he's cool, and I'm gonna hang out with him. And I probably would have went out there and visited him too, but he passed away.
Yeah, I have my niece. Well, one of my nieces lives like 30 miles from him.
Yeah.
And was going to go up there and visit her, and and have a place to hang out up there. But I got the sad news. I was like, oh man, doggone it. Because he was, we'd talked about, he was going to we were all going to get on the big bus, and he was going to come down and pick me up and go over to Pensacola and pick up somebody over there. And we were just going to have a good time. And I was like, if you want to come pick me up, I'll go. That was before I had Duggar. So It was like, yeah. And so a bunch of us were kind of sort of planning along that way. And like, how could we actually make this happen?
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still riding the bus in my head.
That is true. That is true. I was just devastatedly shocked because I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, I just talked to him. I just left him a message like yesterday or something like that. And wow, I don't know. But I think they say people know when they're going to pass away, but they don't know. Do you agree with that?
It depends. I knew when my granny passed.
Yeah.
There was a connection there between her and I. And I couldn't tell you to the minute, but I knew she had passed. I was up here in Georgia. She was down there in Zephyr Hills. And I just knew. I was like, Granny's gone.
Yeah.
And she used that rose water, not really as a perfume, but it was. And it was just like, could smell it in the room. And I was like, Granny came by to say hi, So, and in my lifetime, there's been one or two other people that I knew that they had passed. But there was my one friend, Marcia, she was in a nursing home, and I couldn't stay in touch with her, and her cell phone wouldn't reach out and so forth. And so I saw her like on a Sunday afternoon over where she was living. And I walked in there, and I saw her over sitting in her chair, and I could just tell that she wasn't long for this world.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is.
But
with his iconic hat on and his famous words.
Folks, welcome to another day in Milky.
Yeah, we wanted to bring back hats for men, and fedoras and stuff like that. We talked about that.
Everybody's having a good Monday thus far.
Yep. Yep. Him and his hat. That was good. But yeah. Okay, go on. I just wanted to get that one up there. Sorry.
No, but what I could just tell that she had passed.
Yep.
And my friend Marcia, what was strange was we had a sort of a psychic connection. I thought we did in this 3D world, but I had a feeling that something had happened, and because she was sick and being taken care of and all, but I did not know that she had passed away. And the family situation, I didn't get to know. A lot of people didn't get to know. And then it went on Facebook, and I wasn't doing Facebook. And then somebody called me and said, "Did you know Marcia passed away 2 weeks ago?" And I was like, well, I figured something was up, but so I thought she was going to like come by and sit in the house with me, and I would know when she passed, and I didn't. So that was a surprise. I got just the opposite. Maybe she was mad at me and said,
Yeah, maybe on the other side, they only get a chance to visit a few people. You know, you get like, hey, you get 3 people to choose. You know what I mean? Because people always say, oh, so and so came to visit me, but you know, and do they get to visit everybody or just a couple few to show themselves to? I don't know. Don't know.
And I think it's like by Granny Raleigh.
Yeah.
Miss Mary. There was something that her and I had back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And had it all through my life. I was like 35, I think, around-ish when she passed. So she was the one that, I could tell when she was calling me. I'd pick up the phone and go, hi, Grandma. And she'd go, I didn't even finish dialing the number, So we did that a lot. So there was some kind of connection that was real strong. And I wish that Grandma wasn't so skittish about such things. I would have liked to have kind of explored it a little more and sat down and talked with her. But I could, when something happened with Grandma, I knew it. I felt like almost immediately because of whatever, thing we had together. And I think that's part of that quantum field, Brian and I had a good connection as well, but it wasn't as tight. I hadn't met him. We hadn't sat down and, but we'd spent a lot of time having chats and Zoom and so forth, But so I felt something had happened to Brian, but I didn't know that he had died. I didn't know that he had his heart condition was such that that's how he passed. So and the way my heart acts sometimes, it might not be it might not be too soon before I go see him. So I'd rather stick around here a little longer, but
well, nobody knows when they're going to give up the ghost, but hey,
nope.
But see, that's the thing is, what was it? Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know when your time is up. But that's my question, though. I think you answered a question, but that wasn't exactly my question. My question is, does your subconscious know beforehand when you're going to pass, but you don't? And therefore you do things and actions without knowing because your subconscious is in control.
I think Grandma Raleigh knew.
Yeah.
Miss Mary knew because I was spending time with her, just the two of us, in another part of the trailer, and she was doing this number and looking up, and then she stopped and looked over at me, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Well, David, don't tell your mom." And I was like, "I won't, Grandma." She said, "Red's up there. Fred, Red." He had really, he was definitely a ginger. And she said, "Red's waiting on me." And, and she said, "But don't tell your mom." And she said, "Yeah, I know it's going to make her mad." And I said, "Grandma, if you need to go see Grandpa, go,
Yep.
And don't worry about it. They won't, I promise you, they won't be mad at you. They may be sad." And she was like hanging on to a rung, and she was like, "Oh." And then she looked at me, and she came. She wasn't hallucinating, I don't believe. She had her hands on the rung, buddy. I mean, it was like she was gripping that thing. And Grandma didn't do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't fake or play around. No, she was serious straight up. So for her to have a hand on a rung and climbing a ladder to heaven, because she didn't go to church but just once or twice a year. She was spiritual, but she wasn't religious. So that's where I get my spiritualism from without having to be religious. Because Granny was that way, you know?
Yep.
But I think she knew because she was climbing the ladder. And that was like on a Saturday, maybe a Sunday. And by Wednesday, she had passed. And I had to turn around and go back for the funeral. But let's see, when Bessie was getting sick, she had been sick so many times and had got close to death and come back and close to death and come back through hospice and stuff. I don't know, but there towards the end, they were like, you know, yeah, she's out of here. You know, we're literally just sitting by the bed waiting. And I didn't get any sense of passing from her, but she hated all of us. So I don't think she visited anybody.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like Elderberry said earlier, he said, if I can find it real quick, he said Brian had friended him on Facebook, you know, I think it was him. He'd friended him on Facebook just before he passed. And then that's how everybody knew him, you know, would know him, you know. And I know, like, for me, months before, you know, he was doing he was doing all those call-in shows?
Yep.
And he was trying to get people on left and right. And to me, I think it was like a tryout. It was a tryout. And he was trying. Huh?
What'd you say to you? It is what?
I think he was doing tryouts. He was trying to get people to call in, be on the show. And then he was trying to, you know, see who would step up to the plate. And what happened was I think certain people called in and he was having, you know, good to see you, Al. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it. And like Dominic says, he was there and he was doing call-ins too. I know there was a lot of people doing the call-ins, but you know, there was only certain people that have ended up being on video. You know what I mean? And who would stick it out? And I think he was trying people out. And then I must have made the cut because he asked me to come on with him and Trina on Saturday nights and do Trinity of Truth. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, well, I guess so. And so I came on, and if I can find one of those crazy videos, I came on and I didn't know what I was doing. Oh my gosh, you know.
You still don't.
I know.
I'm messing with you.
But I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh. And here's one. Let's just play this for a second. How crazy.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way as the bell tolls in the background.
Yeah.
Right on time.
Yeah, we made it right on time. So anyway, welcome to another Saturday with Robert V and Trina Finks. How y'all doing tonight?
Great.
Good day.
It's always church. Takes me, I don't know if it's a delay or if it's just, I don't know. Anyway.
But you see, there I am in one of the first videos, and I didn't know where to sit. I didn't know how to operate the thing. I'm running off of my phone. It was crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And little by little, about it was only a couple, 2-3 shows in. He's like, yeah, you know, let's, you know, I says, I got some ideas, you know, and he says, okay. And little by little, within a couple shows there, he was like letting me. He's like, Robert, you just take the reins and do whatever you want. This is your show now. He kept telling me, you just do it. I'll push the buttons. And I felt pretty good about it. And he did. And not long after that, he passed. And then I was devastated. I think we were all devastated because, he was the guy that brought us all together. He was the glue, for everyone. And then Trina called me and she says, I think Brian came to visit me. I think he wants you to be the Milky Way guy. And because we were sitting around saying we should probably have somebody do a Milky Way show. Who'd take over his channel? Who can do it? And I was like, I don't know. Big Al could do it. He can't do it from his truck. He's driving all over the place. He Yes, Chloe's right. He would call me the man, the myth, and the legend. Robert V. Yeah, why would he do that? There was nobody special, and if I can find one of those shows, I will, Chloe. He would get there. That's Robert V, the man, the myth, the legend. Oh my gosh, yeah, it reminds me of that. Oh, and here's another one. I think
here. Let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
Because he had traveled around, and with oh man, the Grateful Dead,
Yeah.
and so he had with him, and having been around bands and stuff like that, he was an MC. He
Yeah.
had that MC kind of style, and he was crazy enough because we'd both done a lot of acid. And so stuff comes in our brains like, there's the man, the myth, the legend, but it probably blurted out one time and he decided to keep it.
Probably. Let's see if it's on this video here.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And it's Saturday. Time to party. And of course, I got two of my best friends here, Mr. Robert B. and Trina Phoenix. How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
We're good.
One more Saturday night.
Yeah.
It says we're live on YouTube. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I
Come
have
back and get gracious.
There's a light here.
I got my volume turned down, so it was nice. Like I've been driving here the past few days. It's just been so cold.
Anyway, I didn't say it on that one. And then he had all those videos. People love the videos. I don't know how he made those videos, but they were good. Yeah. Big Al, he says, I told you, Robert, you could do this show in loving memory of Brian. Yes. And he did. I had a lot of encouragement from Trina, from Big Al. Man, without him and Trina encouraging me and standing behind me after Brian passed, I don't know if I could have done this show. But, it was them two that really helped me along. They stood behind me, and I remember one of the first shows I did, and I had Trina, and then I had you on. Remember, you came on.
Yep.
Remember that? And I got you on, and my computer had crashed, and all the crazy things we would do. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yep. Big Al. Okay. I'm doing it now, Al. I'm doing it now. Sorry.
And
Anyway,
then we had the
yeah.
idea to do native stories. And unfortunately, that was one of the things because of, what I'd been doing and going to powwows and stuff. And Brian and I had talked about it, that we wanted to do something native-y, but we didn't know what. And then you sent me that book, and the rest is history. You know.
Yeah. How
Well,
ironic is that?
Yeah, and for those of you who might be just tuning in, this next week will be 175 shows that Robert and I have done. We've only missed a couple because of working and hospitals. I even did one from the hospital. So, you know, but 175. And in a way, that's sort of an honor for Brian because, you know, that was, he encouraged what I got from Brian because he joined my channel because I was up and running a little before he did, but not much now, mind you. But so in our off-air discussions, it was like, so what can we do? What can we talk about? What do we want to talk about? What do we expect out of the channel? And, you know, 9 years ago, you know, it was like, okay, Dave, what do you want to do? Well, you know, I got this message from Mother Mary and I'm supposed to talk about stuff. And, you know, and he's like, well, you know, I'm like traveling around, and we were discussing the feeling that we had when we were really tripping bad or hard or whatever. And having been our minds in this other realm, and that we wanted to, he wanted to, and I did too. They changed the format, and I haven't had anybody to call in here to the house. I would like to do that again, but things have been skittish here. But anyway, but he wanted to be able to just let anybody come on and tell their story.
Yeah. And
that was sort of, he started that out. He said, I know what my story is, and we'll talk about it. And we want to inspire people. We want to hear what their heart has to say. We want to feel and hear, and, you know, what do they know about the world, and what is their impression of the world, you know? And, you know, all them years ago, the internet, lots happened since then, you know, in different ways. But but his original, and I think he fulfilled it, his original was to, you know, invite people to share what they knew and what was in their hearts, and to have conversation about it. So.
Oh, I totally get it. He made these great music videos. I can't play the music, people, but, you know, we can watch the video. I don't know where he got all this footage and stuff, but, man, could he make a video and put the music to it and not, you know, but I don't know if that's what got him canceled or somebody, you know, complaining, but, you know, he got his one channel axed, and, you know, it's just, but, yeah.
Yeah, copyright, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
People are nasty about that kind of stuff, but oh well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it says, who was it? What was it? Was it, you know? But look at these videos. I just love his videos. Question. He put like secret messages in his videos. You know, there was messages in there, and it took me hours and hours to squeak out a bunch of them and make videos. That's how I did a lot of my first videos, where I just took some of his stuff and, you know, scraped out the messages in them and then reposted it kind of without the music. And it was good. It was good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was living in the, you know, in the future, but living in the past at the same time. It's like, he knew way more. Like I said, I think he knew he was setting things up. He was giving us messages to live by. He was, you know, setting me up to be the Milky Way guy for the Soul Tribe. And he was setting you up. You know, do you ever think about that? How that was so set up? You know, he befriended you, and then you guys talked about the Native American stuff, and you were going to do a show. Then he talked to me and got me in on things. And then somehow you and me got together to do that show. that he never did.
Well, but he had passed away. So the thing is that everything was in development. I was one of my big issues was I was having issues with computers and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was piecing stuff together in Windows 7 and, and plugging stuff in and so really shoestringing it. And YouTube still has a thing for me because I cannot use the camera on this computer to do a live stream at all. And
Really?
so it's like, but I can do it on my cell phone. So they've been picking on me for a long time for some reason. But anyway, so but still I remember talking about our values and how much, we were both, for me, I was coming out of a really bad, funky depression and fighting my way to the top kind of thing, trying to get my head up above the mud. And in our conversations and stuff, it was like, yeah, we seem to be in the mud but having tripped so much, I'm sorry to have to keep using this, but it's the truth. The amount of tripping that we did, we understood it. Where you remember when you was tripping and you go, yeah, I know what you mean, and yeah, remember when you go, yeah, and we never tripped together, but we had. We'd already met each other out there somewhere in the quantum field. And so it was interesting that there were times when he would just give me a look on the screen when we were first doing shows. And I knew it was time to, switch subjects, or I had talked too long. It was time to move on, And so, and it was just a flicker in his eyes. And he would say, Dave, how come you knew that you was going to change topics right there? And I was going to interrupt you. And sometimes, like you've said, Robert, it's like, how'd you know I was going to, so is that Miss Trina?
Yeah.
Did you just come in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah. Miss Trina.
Darling, I've been worried about you, and I hope everything is going well. From out here in the ether, I have been sending you prayers. I hope you've been getting them. Honest to goodness, I'm embarrassed to think how many times I've thought about you. You'd think I was a stalker. I mean, just from out of the blue, I'd go, I wonder how Trina's doing. I mean, out in the field or walking around or driving or whatever, watching a movie, it's like, wonder if Trina's okay. But anyway, so God bless you, honey. I'm glad to see you, that you stuck your head in here for a minute. That makes my heart feel better, because I've been worried about some folks. And anyway.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, people somewhere else, don't know what you're doing for them. And, does it, I think that happens a lot. People don't know how their life is being changed by somebody else. Like I said before, I think that Brian subconsciously knew, his spirit or soul or whatever knew, and was piecing things together to give us all, put the puzzle pieces together, so that when he was gone, they would all fall in place like stacking dominoes.
I don't think that was done intentionally.
I don't think he did it intentionally.
Right.
I think that his subconscious or his spirit did it without him knowing it, because I don't think he knew it, but he did.
Let me explain this.
Yes.
We were both on the same path.
Yep.
I'm still on it. He's gone.
Yep.
And I'm still talking about the path and trying to help other folks to see the path, understand it, and hopefully try to keep going. But so both of us we're
Mhm.
finding we were finding the puzzle pieces and
Mhm.
acknowledging them. Now he was better with doing music videos and stuff and putting those together.
Mhm.
But there was some of the stuff that we had talked about that he had put in a video, you know, which is cool. I'm not trying to take any credit, but it's that he was seeing, both of us, our eyes had been open, and we were seeing the puzzle parts. And so we'd see this puzzle part and drag it down over here, and then bring another puzzle part together and drag it over here. And then somebody would contact him and they would do a live stream and there would
Yep.
be conversation. And that added to the puzzle, whether it was directly or indirectly, you know? But so
Yep.
he was building by collecting these puzzle parts to put a picture together.
Yep.
We were both working on that. I'm still working on it, you know, but he was just a lot more graphic than I am. I'm just the word guy. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but so I do think subconsciously, because we had done so much acid probably together at the same times on a different part of the, you know, of the planet. But there's something about when you have tripped real hard and there's this feeling that you get, and when you look around the universe, and I can't explain it, you just have to go there and see it for yourself. But he and I both had seen it, had been there. And so trying to put the puzzle pieces together so that normal human beings who had never tripped as hard as we had and as much as we had, because there's something about it, you know. I'm sorry, I can't. I haven't tripped in a long time, but I still remember. But for
Mhm.
somebody who has never tripped, they will never understand what we knew from our experiences. Not to
Mhm.
pick on anybody, but you know, you ride horses and I haven't. So you've got all the
Mhm.
experience of riding horses and being a cowboy. That's just a dream for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but I've been in caves and I've
Yeah.
done other things. So I've been in subterranean but you know, so but we all have our place. So that was one thing Brian and I both understood. Everybody's got a part in the puzzle.
Yeah.
So his object, and I'm still trying to learn how to, you know, let people call in.
Yeah.
I
Well,
need to,
yeah, we're gonna get together one of these days. I'm gonna help you with that. But it's you know, that's the thing is it's like a puddle.
well,
You
wait,
know,
I'm
or
almost done. Okay. So
what?
I do think because we had understood the ether, the
Yeah.
quantum field, and everything, I do think that subconsciously, you know, the spirit was directing him. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt about it, you know, because
Yeah.
we both knew that we had to allow ourselves to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe, and allow the creator to work through us. And if everything was groovy, then we were doing the right thing. So God bless you, Brian, out there. I do miss him. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. It's like I said, I think it's like a quiet pond, you know, or a body of water. And Brian was the guy who was the rock that we throw in, and he was throwing in the pond, and he made all these ripples. And each ripple is a puddle. It's like a puddle. Okay, that's a puddle, Lucky. Anyway, it's a puddle. And then the ripples are the things that, you know, come along and then change our lives. You know, I mean, if Brian wasn't on, I wouldn't have watched his show. And if I wouldn't have watched his show, I would have never got onto YouTube. You know, and if you wouldn't have, if we wouldn't have had a show and you wouldn't have had a show, and you would have not got together, well, you may have never started doing a lot of YouTube or whatever, or encouraged Brian, or never been on each other's shows, or you
That's
see what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I
And
do. And going back to me, because he says that I was the one that he found my channel. So,
yeah,
and you know, and I picked up a friend and a subscriber that would talk to me.
well,
So
and
we
see,
could
that's
interact, right?
another thing. Now, how did he find your channel when you only had 2 or 3 subscribers? That's the big
Exactly.
question.
And so wait, let me back up a little more, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm here at the house. I'd been, you know, I do believe that I had a walk-in, a spirit to come into. I said, Lord Jesus, you got to help me. And I absolutely feel like I had a walk-in to keep me out of trouble until I could straighten my butt out. And so, and then one day it was like I felt this shudder and I was like, what? And I seen this figure next to me and it's like, okay, I think you can handle it by yourself. And I was like, what the fudge? But I'm sitting here in the house wondering what I'm going to do. And, you know, and I had seen a couple of YouTubes, but not really, you know, anything in depth. And so I'm like, well, you know, and then I had the vision of Mother Mary, Sister Helene, and Sister Teresa. And I was like, and they were like, do it, get up, get off your butt. I told you I was going to ask you to do things in the future. Here it is. Time's up, time's here, you know. And so I started the channel and then Brian comes. So I absolutely believe that it was spiritual because then 3 ladies came and kicked my butt. I mean, literally, it shook me so hard. I did a video about it way back when. I had these 3 ladies and what, you know, and so, but I think that because he and I had been so stoned, tripping and all, that he picked up on it in the ether, in the quantum field. He and I met in the quantum field, whether anybody wants to believe me or not. But how did he find my channel? And he was like the 5th one. And because we had talked about it too. And it was like I was led to you for some reason. Hey, Miss Pearl, prayers to you. I was thinking about her the other night too and sending prayers. So I hope y'all are doing well. But yeah, there were a lot of things that he and I had discussed that we wanted to do as a team, if you will. And then, but then, you know, he had what he wanted to do, you know? Yeah. There was, like you and I, you know, you got your own channel, but we get together and we do stuff and, you know, so that was basically, but we wanted to expound on it, you know? And then he passed away and we didn't get a chance to expound the way we had talked. But
that's right.
It was good to have met him. Hey, is that Miss Pearl in there?
That is Miss Pearl right there.
God bless you, sweetie.
Hi. Finally caught up with you.
Yeah. How you doing? Haven't heard from you in a long time. I got the picture of your truck. Is that a Ford Excursion or a Ford Expedition?
It's the year 2000. My year. It's the year of the Dragon truck. Her name is Big Bessie Blue.
Big Bessie Blue. Nice. Nice.
Oh, you a dragon too?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well. I'm a water dragon.
Yeah. I've been here 6 months. Been in my new house 6 months. It's huge. It's way bigger than the last one. And I got furniture. And I got magic portals in here. The ghosts have already made their appearances. I don't know if you've seen the videos or not. But yeah, it's Gemini season, and we got that strawberry blood moon, well, strawberry full moon coming up, and then on the 12th, no, September 7th, there's a blood moon eclipse on September 7th
Nice.
coming up. Yeah, so I'm
When?
like September 7th.
Hmm.
It's a long ways from
I
now.
didn't hear December, September, what?
September.
Okay,
9,
I'm sorry,
7.
my hearing is getting bad.
It's okay. E's birthday and my grandma's birthday. So I'm pretty psyched about that. But yeah, I've been really everything just keeps getting delivered to my door, and it's amazing. I came in here, I had nothing. Now I got a whole house full of furniture. I got so many lamps, I had to put them in storage.
Gee. Miss
Then
Pearl,
every
we got before you get into on your big story and everything, you got anything to talk about Brian?
Oh
Say a few
God,
words.
he's the one that helped also motivate me into doing more of my ghost videos.
Really? I did
Yes,
not know
sir.
that. Why don't
Yes,
you
sir.
tell your story about him?
Well,
How did he help you, and why did that? What was going on there? Tell us all.
The spirits, one of his dead girlfriends had led me to him somehow, to his channel, and I was watching his shows, and I loved his music videos. And then he started doing the little podcasts and stuff, and him and I would do videos, he would watch my stuff, and spirits would talk through me and to him, and he got more motivated to continue his podcast and doing more in-depth content. And yeah, we did a few podcasts. We used to do the rod sessions with Mr. Garrett from overseas, and then Alex and Lois, Cajun Queen.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how that started back in 20. When I started talking with Brian before 2018. And like
Wow.
2016, 2017 is when I got acquainted with Brian. Yeah. So, and then when he left, my God, I had videos of him and Charlie Daniels flying up my hallway, because him and Charlie Daniels' death days are like within days of each other.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So you remember I never used the filter before. When I did the live stream after he died, the filter went on by itself, and it was the fedora hat that he would wear and the sunglasses.
Yeah.
It was the filter. I'm just like, oh shit, that's Brian. And it was insane. I got it on my old computer, and I found, since I'm back home, one of my high school friends is a computer fix-it guy. So I'm taking my broken computer that Rick tried to kill me with, that has all the footage. I'm going to get all transferred to my new computer, and I'm going to repost those old videos.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Yep. But yeah, my last piece of independence was getting a vehicle.
Nice. Well, now that you got a vehicle and you're independent, life should be going good. You got everything you need.
It's absolutely wonderful. I got great neighbors. My building is secure. I don't have to worry about anybody bothering me that I don't want bothering me. My apartment's huge, and I'm paying way less than I was paying in Rockford. And the cost of living is much better here. The quality of life, way better. And guess what? I got a balcony with the most beautiful sky views ever. My first day living here, I caught a UFO. I was sitting out on my balcony. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. This thing was just flying across the sky. Got it on video. It's on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok. It's on TikTok and Facebook, I think. But yeah. Yep.
Nice. Where so we can find you on TikTok now?
Yeah.
TikTok, Facebook, and where else? YouTube.
Instagram, YouTube.
Oh,
Facebook.
Instagram too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You're
Yeah.
on all of them. Good
Facebook.
deal.
Yeah. So
Good
that's right.
deal. Yeah,
So-
because we're all just trying to get some of Brian's stories. You know, every time we have one of these shows, it seems like somebody shows up and says some new stuff that
He
you know
was
we
really
quite
doing them
get. You know, like I didn't know that, David, that you only had a couple of subscribers when Brian showed up. I did not know that. You know, and it's
I mean, we really started out together. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
that picked up some dirt and said, "We're going to do this." You know.
yeah, no, I get it.
That's how I found you, Hawkeye, was through Brian.
Right.
Yeah. See how he linked like I said in the beginning, he linked everybody together one way or another. He was linking us all together.
Let me bring up something else. Somebody just put in the chat. That I think Brian and I first met in the chat of Wayne Steiger.
That's it.
Oh, could be. Could be.
Wayne.
I mean, because it was. Whoa, okay, Duggar.
Duggar.
But because he and I had talked about it, and then later on we talked about how much we thought Wayne had gone off the path of life, you know. So, but yeah, and we had talked about it off screen a lot back in the early days. And what I'm really glad about is that he made so many friends before he went.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think there's like 986 subscribers to my channel, and I love you all to death.
Yep.
But the fact that he was hell bent for election, you know, he wanted subscribers because he wanted everybody to feel like part of the crowd. He wanted everybody, all the stars in the Milky Way, even the dim ones way out. He wanted everybody to have a chance because we're all part of the Milky Way. He wanted everybody to have the opportunity to speak, even if we didn't.
There, Pearl, do you got something? You got something going on? You're bleeding through, so it's almost unbearable. You got something else on?
What do you mean?
Do you have another speaker on besides the one that you're using?
No.
Okay, because something's going on and it's making everything really loud.
I'm sorry.
And it's coming off of your end. So sorry.
I hear that. Jesus. It's my energy.
Well, I know you got a lot of energy going on there, but somebody says it sounds like a CB radio in the background.
It sounded like somebody was trying to break in a channel on a CB radio.
I'm telling you, it's been going crazy like that. Every time I'm talking to somebody, it does that.
Do you get a lot of electronical interruptions and stuff with all of the spirits around?
Yeah, I'm about to get my period, and it's Gemini season. I'm a Gemini rising, and yeah, it's loud. So, is it still loud? Is it still doing that?
Nope.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's been okay since he mentioned it to you.
Okay. I had it sitting down, but look.
I can't see that.
It's Wizard of Oz tarot cards.
Oh.
It's my Mother's Day present to myself. Yeah, Gemini season.
Cool.
Garland.
Elderberry says he thinks it was a Milky Way. It thinks it was Brian. It was bleeding through.
I bet it was. I know that it was.
Could be.
Definitely.
Could have been.
Listen, can I send out a personal message for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since Trina's in the house, you know, I'm not shy much. Miss Trina, something in the dreams says that you and I need to talk, but I got no clue. Well, I sort of have a clue about what we need to talk about. And the talk seems to be to compare notes about what we've both learned about the Native Americans and the Hopi thing. And I think it's about that. But I'm really they're kind of kicking my ass saying, you know, next time you talk to Trina now, you need to tell her that you two need to get together and talk. Okay, I did it.
Okay.
There's the message.
Message is out there. Trina, it's up to you now. We'll figure it out. We'll get you two together.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it just is what it is. But the fact that, you know, she comes on tonight and we hadn't really discussed being on tonight until this was sort of a snap thing tonight. And so for me to, you know, bump into Trina, as it were, that's just, you know, synchronicity.
She would love to. There you go. She'd love to.
All right. Thank you, girl.
Brian helps me do. He inspired me. He inspired me to get my first deck of tarot cards.
Really?
So it's another great thing that Brian did. He started this. He said, "Go ahead and do it, Delaney. Go ahead and do it." So
wow.
There we go. 2019 my purchase.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Brian put the seeds in people's heads. He lined everybody up. He set us all up. And then, you know, so it was like domino effect. And once he was gone, you know, we all thought that we would all scatter to the wind. At least that was in my head, is, you know, usually when the axle that's holding the wheel on and together breaks, then all the spokes go flying off in all their directions. And it didn't. They all flew together in you know, back together even stronger, because
it made a new wheel.
It did. It made a new wheel. And like I said, it brought me and you together, brought Delaney on, it brought this you know, Trina and me together. It brought everybody that I've had on, Max and Zigzag and all of these people that had came on, Big Al, the whole 9 yards. It brought us all together, created new shows, bigger shows, more people, and you know, we kept on going with it. And if it wasn't for him, you know, we would have never met each other. We would have never got to be friends, etc., etc., etc. And like I said, he set us all up that way. If he knew it or did it intentionally or didn't, I don't think he did it intentionally. I don't think anybody could have seen the future.
He always said he did everything led by spirit.
There you go. There you go.
See, and that was our promise early on, is that we were going to be driven, if you will, by guided is a better word. We were going to be guided by the Creator, and that but our goals were simple: to instruct and teach and help anybody we could, you know. And that's still my goal. So, and he says, "Yeah, it's still mine. I'm just doing it from here."
Well,
in the quantum.
You know, exactly. Like I said, I don't know if his videos are still on YouTube or whatever, but I got them all here and I play them. And who knows, maybe I should repost them with different music. That ain't gonna get censored by YouTube, but YouTube's pretty finicky about that stuff, and I would hate to lose my channel. I've had the channel for quite a while. I've gotten a pretty good following. You know, as you know, we're up to the 1,000 mark, and I really want to keep it going. And let's see if I can find something that Brian could take us out of here with.
Wait a minute. Well, you go ahead and look, but he had me pull cards.
I was thinking the same thing.
I know you were. But I beat you. So I pulled cards, and I'm looking at them now, but you go ahead and find what you were going to do as an outro kind of thing.
Yes.
But if you want to hang it over to me, I pulled cards.
All right, you just do that. Delaney, you pull a card too? My best card pullers are here.
Yeah, I'll pull the oracle.
He hasn't yet, Robert.
She hasn't yet?
Not yet. No, she's getting ready to.
Okay, you got your card?
I got my cards pulled.
Well, why don't
I'm
you
ready to
start?
go. Rock and roll.
Why don't you get going, do your thing, and while she's doing hers?
Okay, dokie. So my first card up was Turtle. And Turtle is Mother Earth. In Native American teaching, Turtle is the oldest symbol on the planet Earth. And so, you know, Brian would choose that card for us tonight, you know, for all of, you know, creation to be on Mother Earth. We are born of the womb of earth, and to her soil our bodies will return. In honoring the earth, we are asked by Turtle to be mindful of the cycle of give and take, to give back to the mother as she has given to us. Turtle is a fine teacher of the act of grounding. You may even be able to overcome some space cadet issues. Turtle warns of the dangers of pushing the river backwards. Turtle buries its thoughts like its eggs in the sand and allows the sun to hatch the little ones. This teaches you to develop your ideas before bringing them out in the light. If you drew the Turtle card, it augurs a time of connecting with the power of the earth and the mother goddess within. This is a reminder of the ally you have with the Mother Earth. That's the first card. Ooh, so grounding and, you know, and being together on Turtle Island. I like that. Good first card. Number 17, Mountain Lion, is leadership. Interesting second card. Mountain Lion can be a very difficult power totem to have because it places the person in a position to be a target for the problems of others. Interesting. Here we are together, and over the years, Brian brought us together, and we all had our own little problems and our own little ways, but we came together to solve them in our own little ways. So, you know, look how far Miss Pearl has come. So, and me too. So Mountain Lion medicine involves lessons on the use of power in leadership. It is the ability to lead without insisting that others follow. Now, this card is upside down. So in the contrary, you may be playing with fire if the card is reversed. A leader who tries to lead through tyranny or dictatorship has forgotten the medicine of truth. If you are avoiding taking your place in leadership, it could be because the whole idea scares you silly. Now, there are many folks out there that have talents and they're too scared to bring them out. And this, is, I think, is one of the messages, and it was one of the messages that Brian said, right? Come ye, all you little folks, and share what you got, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, where did that come from? Another message of Mountain Lion reverse is to not let yourself be led down the primrose path by a leader who is abusing the power of leadership. If you want to put yourself on the road to being a leader in your own right, ask questions of anyone to whom a leader in your you may have given authority. Make sure you haven't given your authority away to somebody else who's not a very good leader. So next one up is Weasel, number 33. Some of these I remember. Stealth. And this card's upside down too. Weasel has an incredible amount of energy and ingenuity, yet it is a difficult power totem to have. It is not without a significance that the ermine or weasel is worn by royalty. Weasel ears hear what is really being said. Weasel never failed to give an accurate account of the enemy's numbers, positions, and etc. Weasel fur changes color during the seasons. So, but upside down, it is look out for intrigue. Someone may be using covert tactics to weasel into the hen house. Perhaps you should lock your doors and dress your young teenager girl like a nun. Another message of weasel reversed is to acknowledge why you have been doubting your feelings. Now that goes along with the mountain lion, who's like, you be hiding, and if you're a leader and you haven't been using your talents well, here's this one in that as an acknowledgement that you have been doubting your feelings. How good are you? Am I any good at all? Stop it, because there's two cards right now telling you to get up. If you want to right the situation, start by shaking the dullness out of your head and observing the obvious. No one can fool you if you watch your step. Honor your own knowing. Seek the hidden reasons and use discretion in the process. That's a nice little message. Now, the next one up, which is interesting, we've got two cats in this, and the next one up is number 18, Lynx. Oh, we got to go this way a little more. Secrets, and it's upside down. It is said that if you want to find out a secret, ask a lynx. Unfortunately, it's difficult to get the silent lynx to speak. Lynx is the keeper of secrets, of lost magical systems and occult knowledge. Lynx medicine is a very specific type of clairvoyance. And we've been talking about clairvoyance and how we've all come together. And I think that's because of our psychic energies, and that we have come together in the quantum, And so, but this is an upside down one, but Lynx is the secrets, the keeper of secrets, not the maker, but the keeper. Lynx has appeared in a reverse position. It is time to shut your big mouth. That's what it says. Something you are jabbering about has let the cat out of the bag. Are you defiling a sacred trust, or have you broken a promise to a friend? If not, you may have pulled a good boner on yourself by blabbing your latest ideas to a competitor. You might look at choosing to have your brain in gear before you start babbling again, or your foot may have to replace your tongue. That's a heavy duty, keep your big mouth shut. That's what it says. Lynx is a tough teacher, and if you have let the cat out of the bag, be ready for the consequences. Become Lynx and wear the Mona Lisa smile. Only you will know what you're smiling about. The cat will not have your tongue. You will, as well as the power over it. So, shut the big trap if you've been doing that. So the next one up is Armadillo. Wow, it's upside down too. 28. Armadillo is about boundaries. And so Armadillo wears its armor on its back, and its medicine is a part of its bodies. Boundaries of safety are a part of this total being. What what a gift it is to set your boundaries so that harmful words or harmful intentions just roll off. Now pay attention to this, because out of these cards, you know, you got to be safe. You got to get up and start being more of a leader. And, you know, so, but at the same time, you have to establish boundaries. And the other thing is you have to understand other people's boundaries. Okie doke. So the upside down card, go ahead and roll up and hide. This is sarcastically as a message of the reversed armadillo. You may think the only way to win is to prevent a situation is to hide or pretend that you are armor coated and invincible. But this is not the way to grow. It is better to open up and find the value and strength of your vulnerability. You will experience something wonderful if you do. The key is in allowing Armadillo to help you stop hiding. Well, see, now that goes right back to the card that said, you know, you need to get up off your butt and do stuff. So, and to use Armadillo's armor to deflect negative energies. In this way, you are able to accept or reject any feeling, action, or energy flow without having to hide from it. That's a really good message right there, because there are a lot of people who feel like they're being bombarded from outside energies and people wishing them bad luck and stuff. And you just need it. If you just ignore it, let it go, you know. Someone told me years ago, we have a choice to accept or receive anything. And if somebody's trying to send up negative energies, all we got to do is say, nope, don't want it.
Reject.
But you got to believe it too. Right, Miss Pearl? Now, the last one up is Turkey, which is the giveaway. There's an interesting stretch of cards. I hope you all are getting the message. What number? 31. Okay, I went past it. And it's right side up. Yep. Turkey is the giveaway. Turkey is thought of as the giveaway eagle or the South Eagle of many native peoples. The philosophy of giveaway was practiced by many tribes. Simply stated, it is the deep and abiding recognition of the sacrifices of both self and others. People in modern day society who have many more times than they need should study the noble turkey who sacrifices itself so that we may live. In turkey's death, we have our life. So honor the turkey. Turkey was the medicine of many saints and mystics. Celebrate it if you have turkey medicine. Your virtues are many. You have transcended self. You act and react on the behalf of others. You aspire to help those who need help. This is not out of some sense of self-righteousness or moralism or religious guilt. Help and sustenance is given by turkey out of the realization that all life is sacred. It is knowing that the Great Spirit resides within all people. It is the acknowledgement that what you do for others, you do for yourself. Turkey medicine rests in true ego and enlightenment. I'm all choked up. That's a hell of a message right there, y'all. And Brian sent it. That last little bit right there about turkey and the giveaway. It is not out of some sense of self-righteousness, moralism, or religious guilt. And what was I talking about just a little bit ago? You know, Brian and I started out, we just wanted to have people on. We wanted to, you know, and so to wrap up the cards with this message, thank you. Wow.
Pearl, that was great. David, thank you.
Man.
Just take a minute. Take a minute.
That's gonna be a hard one to follow. I just pulled some.
Definitely a message from Brian for sure.
That was strong. And I was holding the cards too, and it was like, whoa. And
See,
the book
that
was
right
starting
there
to shake through my
shows
fingers.
It just shows that when we leave the body that we become omnipotent. It just shows that we become fabric of the universe, part of the everything.
Mm-hmm. It does. It really does. Yeah,
Well,
that was
there's no such thing as death, folks. No such thing.
That's right.
It's reincarnation all the way around.
It's great.
And you know, but by pulling the cards without being asked, and because it felt like Brian wanted to send a message, and to have these cards pull up, especially with Turkey at the end, you know, it makes me tremble. Literally, I'm sitting here shaking. And, you know, it's the connection to the quantum field.
Yeah.
It just is. And, you know, he ain't gone. He's just in another form. So he sent a nice message with Turkey, y'all. So I'll shut up now. Go ahead, Miss Pearl.
Okay.
I'll be quiet. I got to be quiet.
First card that came out was regret and repression. There's still a lot of people that have a lot of regret that they haven't started the things that they wanted to. They have it sitting there right there in front of their face, but they haven't started doing what they've been called to do yet. I deny that. It was my sister. So don't let yourself feel repressed, and the repression is yourself, your own self-doubt and fear of failure. The only thing worse than a failure is one that doesn't try at all. I'd rather try to ride a horse and fall on my ass into some shit than never try to get on that sucker. Okay. The second card.
And you know, your card resembles the one card that's that I pulled to quit being afraid and quit hiding.
There you go.
So both of us are getting the same message through the cards. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Was reading. The second one was nurture and compassion. Nurture yourself, nurture others, but also have compassion on those who do not return the nurture. Just turn away and be cold in nature to them that don't respect you. You know, I'm feeling that there's quite a few people that are in the chat that people keep disrespecting them and they think they can get away with it. No, just completely cut your energy off of them because they're vampires and they're not gonna help you blossom into the being that you were predestined and you already know that you are. Okay. So
stand up and be who you are.
Hello. Don't be afraid to fart in public because everybody does it. I heard that just now. Don't be afraid to fart in public because everybody does it. There's nothing to be ashamed of anymore. Okay. We're killing the guilt. We're killing the fear. We're killing the control because fear and guilt equals control. Okay. There's no need to fear anything. And once again, people, stop ignoring yourselves and attending to others, to everyone else. Forget trying to make someone else happy. It's okay to be selfish with yourself. That's where the nurture and having the compassion for yourself comes in. Okay, you feel like you got to care for everyone else, but then you neglect yourself. Stop neglecting yourselves, folks. There's too many of y'all in the chat room right now that keep neglecting your own happiness. Okay. Start doing self-care Saturday. Selfish Saturday. It's okay. Right? So then the third card is, it came out Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Fire, and Ace. I'm feeling when the moon cycles, these 3 moon cycles, when the moon hits Leo, when the moon hits Aries and Sagittarius, significant events will happen to y'all. And just pay attention to the signs. There's going to be signs of fire. These are 3 fire signs. But you're going to see fire within these moon signs, within these moon phases. And the ace means number 1. Take the ace as hey, each of you are your own number 1 main character in your own movie of your life. I heard this, and it's okay to be the main character, even if no one's watching. You're still a star.
And
take it to that, and stop procrastinating on that project that y'all got sitting in the corner. Okay, there's too many of you guys out there right now sitting there looking at your corner projects. Oh, no one's gonna buy my stuff. Stop it. I thought that, but people buy my stuff. I got my workstation back, getting back online. So I'm gonna be back into production. I'm gonna be doing live streams. I'll be making things and doing readings and stuff. But y'all, I'm charging. Okay, but this energy that it's very exerting. Okay, I don't know what it is, but each person has a different degree of abilities and what it does to them. Evidently, you guys seen the messages that I give and the things that I do in my videos and stuff. It's quite draining because these spirits use my energy to manifest, okay? And then on top of it, during the times that I do these videos, I'm usually on that's where the real oracle comes in. The Oracle of Delphi, come to find out, she was sitting on the pit bleeding into the hole in the ground. The spirits use that to manifest and to answer the questions through her. So that's where the real purpose of how an oracle works. The most powerful time is when she is during those 7 days, 5 to 7 days menstrual cycle. So, because that's where the blood magic comes in, you guys. Ain't supposed to be cutting no chickens and killing no babies and slitting no wrists. Ain't supposed to be doing none of that. Don't hurt no animals. Let the woman bleed. The spirits use that as the most powerful manifestation tool, okay? So, all these doggone satanic people, they're doing it wrong.
and the native women
they're all
would
doing it wrong.
sort of collect it, and they would take it out and bury it and say prayers over it.
Say that again?
There were native tribes. The women would go off for this. They wouldn't be around. They wouldn't be around the rest of the tribe. They had to go off and do their thing. And some of them actually collected it and then buried it with prayers and a ceremony before they could come back in.
Right.
So, but anyway, so it's not looked upon like that now.
Well, it needs to go back to the way it was, but yeah, they're doing all the stuff wrong. Like that Maria Abramovich, she's doing it wrong. Doing it all wrong. It's not
there you go.
pure. It's not it's not in the pure form the way it's supposed to be done. Let the woman bleed, whatever, but the spirits use this energy that we emit, and it helps them. They go crazy. They love it. It's absolutely insane.
Well,
Yeah. Horrible.
very good cards. David, thank you for your message.
Yeah.
I know when that one resonated with you for a lot. Pearl, thank you for your message.
My the numbers that are kicking in 111. Quit procrastinating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
And the card said, "Get up off your butt."
Yep.
Yep, that's right.
Hey, got knocking
right.
in and shit.
Stop hiding.
They're knocking. They're right. They're knocking loud. Yep, they said it. Quit procrastinating. I did.
So, from two different people with two different sets of cards, y'all pay attention. Y'all pay attention. It's not just me and it's not just Miss Pearl. That's the message that's coming out. Pay attention to the message, please.
That's right. So tonight we're going to let the birthday boy himself, Brian, take us out. And we'll see you on the other side. Remember, everybody, join us tomorrow night as we have another great show coming up for you. Same time, same place. So let's listen to these words Brian has to say.
Thank you, Trina. I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I really do. Well, I guess if there's no questions or anything, I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, wow, it's been an hour, so we got through 6 chapters, I think. So I'll put that down on the heading for this, and that way I can kind of get a better gist on how it'll go next time. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep them right at an hour. But if we have good questions and stuff coming in that runs over today, that's fine. I mean, this, I wanted to read this to everyone because, like I said, I know the excitement it brought me, and like I said, it's to me it's like listening to one of our conversations. So I know the clarity it brought for me, and I hope if it'll at least do that. Like I said, even if you don't watch these, at least you've got the book there now. And if it's not piquing your curiosity now, when the time's right, it will. So anyway, thank you so much for being here, each and every one. I love you so much. I hope it wasn't too boring just sitting here listening to me read for a little bit. Like I said, once we get going into this and start incorporating some of the different training, things we can do. And like I said, questions will start coming up more and more as we get deeper into this well too. So, and I really do want to, like I said, when we take time in between chapters, I really do want to start doing some interaction questions and things like that, because really, folks, I mean, this is how we get to the bottom of it. And don't ever think that any question you have is stupid or don't matter. You wouldn't believe some of the most minute details is some of the most important things that you just brush off to the side and take for granted. Somebody else, it may not be in the reality. So keep that in mind. And once again, anybody, if you're fighting something or, going through some problems, issues, email me at milkywayweekly@gmail.com. I know there's a lot of people in this chat as well. Don't think you're in this alone, folks, because I guarantee you are not. And we may not be on the same parts of the journey, but I guarantee you, we've either been there or close approaching, or we can connect you with somebody that has been there. So, no, you're not alone. Remember, you are limitless. Be the frequency you want to receive, folks. And I truly mean this. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Have a good night.